Yo, what's up guys? You got pokeaim here, coach of the Bronx Beartics with this week's team builder for the GBA. We're taking on my boy Chase, aka CrimsonCbad, coach of the Detroit Steel Wings. Now, Chase has an incredibly scary team. Gyarados is a Pokemon that can do whatever it wants, honestly. Suicune is scary because it can Calm Mind, Pressure Stall if it's Vincoon. Donphan as a spinner. Lycanroc Dusk hits really hard. It actually it's pretty hard versus my team too. Also checks my Salazzle, which does really well versus him. Gyarados has a Trick Room option as well as Nasty Plot. Can also be a bulky wall, can also set up T-Spikes. Vullaby actually is something I could see coming just because it deals with my Necrozma. Mega Beedrill, which is another mon that deals with Necrozma, is also faster than my entire team. Thundurus Incarnate, which can use Nasty Plot and can also Z, so he can run whatever Z he wants, whether that be Bloom Doom, Electrium Z, which is actually something I could see because it's just a nuke versus my team, and HP Ice plus Grass Knot hits my team hard anyway. Infernape, which is also really versatile. Tangela, which can check my Gyarados as well as my Zygarde, and then Kangaskhan, a regular Kangaskhan, which has Fake Out Control and a pretty decent move pool at that. So definitely a very threatening team. This week I did build with Gypsy King and Matty Brolic, so big shouts to them. We'll be going over my team real quick. So first off, we have Rhydon coming one more time. This will be my Stealth Rocker for this game. I thought Rhydon would be really nice because it can Stealth Rock up on Beedrill. Otherwise, my other Stealth Rocker doesn't appreciate Beedrill at all, which is Necrozma. The 60 defense means that I live with max HP, means that I live 2 max attack Scarf close combats from Infernape 100% of the time. Scarf Infernape is something I see him bringing because it can check my Gyarados with either Thunder Punch or Close Combat, depending on what it is. Plus can U-turn out versus my entire team. Gives him some nice speed control versus my team. Spadef is just there because it lets me take like unboosted Grass Knot, also lets me take HP Ices and whatnot. If it's Life Orb, there's no point in even putting Max Spadef on it, which is why I didn't bother, because Life Orb, Max Spadef, Grass Knot from Thundurus, for example, has a really good chance to knock out Rhydon with a little bit of chip damage, which it's definitely going to get with Beedrill. So, Stealth Rock, Earthquake, Rock Blast. Rock Blast helps me check Vullaby, Thundurus, and whatnot. Obviously, that great, nice attack on Beedrill. And Toxic, because Toxic, if he wants to bring Donphan, I can Toxic it, wear it down, and I can even sacrifice myself to go down while clicking Stealth Rock, so that way I ensure that my rocks are there to stay. This also helps me out versus Vullaby, and Tangela, something that can be coming in on me, and even Suicune. Those are all options that can come in on Rhydon, so Toxic's really nice to punish those and wear them down. Next up, we have Necrozma. Now, this set can take a Beedrill's U-turn after Stealth Rock. It also is bulkier and faster than his entire team at +2. So the idea of this set is maybe late game, potentially sweeping. Dark EMZ, Dark Pulse versus max HP Gyarados. It's a roll to knock it out, and the roll is in my favor. So that's really nice. I can see him bringing like a... I don't even know what type of Gyarados could come versus me. Maybe a Thunderbolt, Calm Mind set. Spadef Gyarados could also work. Definitely something with a way of punishing Gyarados, I feel. And maybe even just switching on Whimsicott well, which Gyarados naturally does, but of course if I have to knock off on Whimsicott, that's something he could deal with. Or do something with. But Power Gem allows me to hit Thundurus. It knocks out Thundurus 100% after rocks. I think that's 76% minimum. It also can 2-hit KO Vullaby and just has good coverage as well versus him. Photon Geyser, of course. Beedrill, just my stab move, hits the hardest. And again, Dark Pulse is there because it nukes Gyarados as well as nuking Gyarados. So Necrozma can put in a lot of work late game. It's also just naturally bulky versus him, so it can take hits from Kangaskhan if it needs to, take hits from Lycanroc if it needs to, a hit from Donphan as well, even hits from Gyarados if it absolutely needs to. So Dark EMZ allows me to blow back or blow past Gyarados and Gyarados, which would otherwise be problems versus me. Next up we have Salazzle. Aberforth is coming one more time. This time we're going to be bringing Scarf. Now, it's faster than his entire team, so with Scarf, this also gives me another check to Beedrill because I can outspeed it and knock it out with Flamethrower. Gives me a check to Thundurus as well as Infernape. Infernape is, like I said, the likely Scarfer that I do expect him to bring. Flamethrower, Sludge Wave, and HP Ground just has perfect coverage versus his team. HP Ground is there to hit Lycanroc because that's something I'm definitely expecting to come because it can actually deal with Salazzle. But HP Ground does a decent chunk to it. A 2-hit KO on some variants after Stealth Rock, if it's not like Spadef and whatnot. And Toxic is my last move, allowing me to potentially Toxic Suicune coming in, as well as even Toxic Gyarados. He shouldn't let me, but it is something that can Toxic Gyarados. And the big thing about Salazzle is it's faster than Scarf Infernape. And again, I really think that Scarf Inferno would come versus me. It's really solid in checking my team. It can just U-turn out of there and pair that with Beedrill, pair that with Pokemon like Suicune that appreciate. Let's say like my number one switch into Infernape is my Zygarde, right? So I go Zygarde, he U-turns out into Ice Beam Suicune. Oh crap, I can't stay it with Zygarde. So it's like things like that. Like Infernape forces a lot of switches, especially with his rocks. He does have Donphan, Jirachi, and Lycanroc that can set up rocks for him. Even Infernape if you want to, though. Again, I don't think you'd bring that versus me. But Salazzle gives me that speed control, and Corrosion allows me to toxic everything on his squad. So that's why I'm bringing Salazzle this week. Next up, we have Gator. Now, offensive Gyarados at +1, it outspeeds Jolly Beedrill if he wants to bring that. It also pretty much with Crunch and Waterfall has perfect coverage versus his squad as well. Either perfect neutral coverage or super effective coverage. Crunch obviously for Jirachi and Kafaga, so you guys know that. Now Taunt is really nice because it allows me to prevent something like a Roar from Suicune, Calm Minds from Suicune if he wants to bring Vincune. I don't think he'd bring Calm Mind Suicune versus me. I don't think it's the best because I do have Pokemon like Whimsicott to take advantage of it with Encore and whatnot. But it definitely is an option, and Taunt allows me to deal with that. Of course, I do have to worry about Scald Burns from Suicune, but that's what happens when you have a water type, especially like Suicune. Like, his team has so many Pokemon that can do whatever the hell they want. It's really difficult to prep for, in my opinion. But yeah, Gyarados, just a really offensive Gyarados, honestly. I think it does the best versus team at +1. It actually can do a lot of damage to his squad. Breaking new Pokemon like Jirachi, doing about 40%-ish, a little bit more to max defense Suicune if he wants to bring that, which is something he could. And Taunt's also really nice because if it's like a Ice Beam, Scald, Roar, Rest Suicune, which is something I actually faced when I practiced a little bit. Taunt allows me to stop it from phasing me out, also allows it to stop it from going for rest. So really nice. Gyarados has a lot of breaking potential versus his squad. Next up we have Moet, my Zygarde. Now, this time because of his squad having Pokemon like Thundurus and Infernape, I really didn't, and as well as Tangela, which is something I could really see coming, just because, again, it checks Gyarados and checks Zygarde so well, and checks Rhydon. It can beat some variations of, like, Whimsicott, for example, as well, from not like specs or anything. So I wanted a Zygarde that can actually take hits from him. So the idea with this is, this Zygarde takes HP Ice from Thundurus and Infernape. It can even take a non-boosted Ice Beam from Suicune, can take an Icy Wind from Jirachi, and basically, with Toxic, I wear down Pokemon like Tangela or Suicune if they want to come in on me. 1,000 Arrows into Extreme Speed deals with Thundurus 100% after rocks. 1,000 Arrows into Extreme Speed deals with something like Focus Sash, Lycanroc. It also, Extreme Speed is really nice for picking off like a weakened Beedrill, or even getting maybe a little bit of chip on Jirachi, for example, before I go down. If, like, let's say my Zygarde goes down to Jirachi, I could either just go out to Necrozma, or like if it's like a Scarf Rachi and I went for a U-turn or something, or maybe it's like a bulky one, some chip could be the difference between me knocking him out with Darkium or not. Of course, he needs to be running max HP to be living my Darkium, and even then the roll is severely in my favor. But Zygarde is just there, and Protect with Toxic lets me rack up, especially get some leftovers recovery. Scout for what he wants to do, especially if it's versus like Scarf Infernape. Scarf Infernape is not knocking me out, so defense and Spadef investment allowed me to take on Pokemon like Beedrill better, take on Thundurus a little bit better. Obviously, a +2 Life Orb HP Ice from Thundurus, I'm not going to live. But I'll live a regular Life Orb attack from Thundurus. And if Stealth Rock are up, 1,000 Arrows into Extreme Speed will be able to knock out Thundurus. And again, it's really nice priority, just being able to deal with Beedrill. Toxic, just, again, solid versus his squad. It's Toxic. It's Necrozma, it does. Last but not least, we have Whimsicott. Now, this Whimsicott set, I'm really worried about Suicune. I don't know exactly what Suicune set he's going to bring with me, which is the thing that worries me the most. But if he wants to bring a Calm Mind one, Whimsicott has Prankster, Encore, so if it calms mine up, I can go out into it and get off that Encore. I have Prankster Leech Seed as well, which is really nice. Not the best versus him because like the fastest mon he has, that's faster than me, is obviously Beedrill, which is something that can either threaten me with Poison Jab or U-turn. So I'm not going to necessarily want to go for Leech Seed, but maybe if it's like the last mon and I have like, let's say it's his last mon, right? He goes Poison Jab, knocks me out, and I have like a Zygarde at about 28%, right? So he can knock me out with maybe an X-Scissor, like an Adamant X-Scissor or an Adamant U-turn or something like that. With that Leech Seed and with Protect, I'll get enough recovery to the point where Beedrill doesn't knock me out, knock him out with 1,000 Arrows. I know that's really specific, but Leech Seed is really nice for that. And also, like, because Infernape or something like Infernape or Jirachi can come out, Leech Seed just gets that guaranteed chip off on something. Of course, assuming it does hit. and that could be the difference between Necrozma knocking it out. So Moonblast is nice because it has good neutral coverage versus him, about 30-40% to Infernape. Same thing with Thundurus. Energy Ball is there because it obviously hits Suicune. And then I have a red card. Now originally I had leftovers and then we swapped it to Yachi, but red card is really nice because if it is Combine Suicune, go hard into Whimsicott, and if rocks are up, I basically phase him out immediately, and I don't have to worry about boosted Suicune, of course. So Whimsicott helps me out a little bit with that, and it also gives me a water resist, which is something that I had in Gyarados, but I obviously didn't want to take something like Scald coming from the Suicune. So that's the squad that we do have for this week. Of course, if you guys are rooting for the Bronx Beartics, we are coming off a win of last week versus Jolt. And like I said, this week we are doing our best. We're going to try and win, keep on winning. That way we can make playoffs, because it is possible for the Bronx Beartics to make playoffs, guys. It is possible. Thank you guys for all the support. I'll catch you guys later. Check out CrimsonCbad. His channel will be the link down below. I'll see you guys.